working on a little bit in the Etsy shop, and I haven't had a chance. I've been running around like a mad woman, so I haven't had a chance to come live in a while. So I figured while I was working on getting samples on some of my rollers, I would go live and let you guys watch while I do it. So I've got a pile of prepped, ready little sample sheets. So we will take one, plop it down. So what I am in the middle of is I'm trying to get all my listings updated, which is a huge process. One, because they changed the color. I can't get the old blue, the darker blue that I used to use. And I can't get the purple anymore, but I've at least got a way to make the purple work. But the blue is a new blue. So all of my pictures are wrong. So I've got to get new pictures of the new blue, which I actually do prefer this blue. So I'm happy with it. But it just means a lot of work. And then I am also started doing the double tall rollers, which I have shown you guys. I love these things. And then I, not only do I have the double tall, but I actually now have a small double tall. Or tiny, sorry, it's going to be like a tiny double tall or something. So this is the normal small. And that's the tiny double tall. And then somewhere floating around here, I know I've got a small double tall. Let me go find it. Where did I put it? Why do I always hide everything from myself? Alright. I don't have that one handy. Sorry guys, I don't have that one handy. But it's a different pattern. But so this is a small double tall. So normal small, double tall small. It's the exact same pattern, just extended. Now I'm going to do a tiny double tall. So it's not as big or fat or deep as the small or a small double tall. And I'm going to sell them in sets. So I'm not going to sell them each one because I can only get so many listings on Etsy. So this here, those four are one set. These four are going to be another. So these are mandala styles. And the little lotuses. And then these are going to be a set. And then I have a swirls set that I'm building out to. So that's where I'm starting, is these four collections. So tribal stripes. This is tribal maze. That's a new one. And then my tiny flower of life and the bigger flower of life. So I haven't worked out the pricing on these yet, but the goal is to keep them affordable. But yeah, so I figured that'd be kind of cool. So that is what I'm working on right now. Oh, and then just so you guys know, these are tall, or extra large double tall and jumbo double tall. These things are, I mean, are they actually full 12 inches? I'm not sure if you guys can see my measurements down there. Actually, this isn't the, I make them almost 12 inches. So this one's the first one I did, and I make it a little bit bigger now. This extra large is 8 inches. It's a little over. The pattern itself is 7.5. So, but yeah, this one I figured out I can print it just a little bit taller, so I do now. Yeah, put those somewhere where I don't lose track of them. But anyway, oh, and that's the old color blue too. So I went from the brighter blue to like more tealy blue, which I really do kind of like. So anyway, now to get to what I'm working on is laying out the patterns. So I always take my little squirt bottle full of water, spray my rollers, half dry them, and make sure that this is burnished down so that it stays put. And I always find you're better off if you have a good clean edge, because if you have torn edges, it's more likely to catch into the roller. And oh, where did I put my, there we go, handle set. Alrighty. So I always start slightly in from the edge, and then I'm going to pull back and roll forward. And I like the handles because they help just keep even pressure all the way across. And I tend to just little bits at a time reset my hands and keep rolling. So that is Granny's doily in debossing. So next we will do Granny's doily in embossing, but I am also going to try to remember to take a half a second and take a photo of all these as we're going. There. Oh, actually, let's do it sideways. technically this doesn't have a real top or bottom, but okay. There we go. Oh, that came out really pretty. What are you guys being sassy about? You were supposed to be napping. That's the peanut. You want to see the peanut? You can move this camera easier. You're a bad peanut, Maverick. You're a bad boy. Yeah, you're not supposed to be so naughty. Hi, Kismet. Yeah, babies are being crazies. Okay, continue working. Watch my shadowing. Make sure that both of my cameras, because I'm also recording this on the other camera. Yeah, that's really very pretty. So the thing to remember as we change sizes on the rollers, they get deeper. The pattern gets bigger and they get deeper or more shallow based on sizing. So the smaller they are, the more shallow they are, and the tighter the pattern is, the larger the roller, the wider the pattern, and the more, the deeper it is. So, and I try to design these based on like this line of, oh, no bark barks. This line is the ultra deep, and, or not, sorry, they're deep impression. And they are intentionally kind of sharper edged because they're more made for stamping and Mokume gane. And they have just a little bit less, there's not, almost everything goes to the outer edge of the patterning. So, you know, if you were to roll this in paint, you would get most of this information laid out. This one, you'd get all of that information laid out. Something like these guys, there's more information in all levels of it. So it's not going to give you the same, like if you tried to roll this in paint and roll it onto something, you wouldn't get all the information. So that's kind of the difference between the lavender intricate detail and the blue ones, is the blue ones tend to be more of a heavy stamping style. Yeah, that came out super. This one is just epic. It's been one of my favorites from the very start. And again, just nice and deep. Good crisp lines, good crisp imagery. Oh, take a picture. Take a picture. Don't forget the picture. Oh, I'm so bad. Oh, hello, Amding. It's nice to see you today. Okie dokie, on to the next. All right. So this set includes Granny's Doily, which is this one. And I have so much fun coming up with names for these, but sometimes I get hung up. The next one is Paisley, which is this guy, which is just a pretty floral pattern. I like that one too. It's not actually flowers, it's just kind of like tooled leather almost. Another good name for it, or a good descriptor of it. I got a hair in there, but I don't think it matters. I don't need to be so picky. Okay. All right, and get you wet. So the water helps make sure that the clay releases easily. And when I'm sampling, I use metallic silver because of what's sitting around in my pile of clays. White is too prone to getting messy. Black is too prone to being too soft at the moment. And silver gets you just nice highlights, nice shadows, and something about the metallic clays tend to be just a little less likely to get hung up into the rollers. So that's makes it just the safest to use, but yeah, that came out super pretty. So this is the debossing version. So all the main elements of the roller pattern get pressed into the clay, which in some situations is great. Some situations you want it to go the other direction, which is why I offer both. Take a picture. Sorry, I'm full-blown ADHD today. It is such a blessing and a curse. Make sure that I actually took the picture Yes, okay. On to the next. As I think ADHD is part of being a creative. I think it's part of that inspiration to just make stuff. Do it your own way, figure it out, and dive in and just obsess. And I think a lot of creatives have that, but it also makes it hard to make the creative process focused, which is very entertaining, which is why these have been sitting on my desk to take pictures of and get samples of for like a week. But we're getting there. All right, so I think that's the prettiest part of this. So I want to make sure that's somewhat centered as I roll this out. And, oh, I should have been using the handles. They help. Oh, well. Still got it fully deep. So that is that one. Make sure both my cameras catch it because it's the other camera that I'm going to be editing off of. And take a photo. Okay. And put you over there. That's super pretty. Okay, the next one is Phoenix. And shoo away. Oh, speaking of things, ADHD, and I made these a while ago, and I have them available on the website. I have not gotten them on Etsy. I need to do that. I will try to get that done soon. Sooner than later. But roller holders are very handy. I have them in all sizes, and both this regular and the double tall fit on them because they've got the center thing, so they're plenty well supported. And what I love about them is that somehow when I was making them, they just ended up just the right tightness on everything that you can just grab the whole stack and just move it around like that. So you can just reach in and grab it by just a handful of those. I mean, if you just got two on there, you can just reach in and grab them, and it makes it easy to pick up. So yeah, it keeps collections together and keeps my stash better organized, which is nice because yeah, ADHD and organization is a thing. All right, so this is debossing Phoenix, and the baby's annoying the big dogs. Hey, baby, don't be a bad baby. Be a good baby. Go lay down. Don't piss off the crazies. She's the crazy one. You don't want to crazy her. You don't want to get her going. She'll eat you. She's a little psycho. There's always a little psycho in every household, isn't there? All right, so Phoenix debossing. Pretty. Oh, little Maverick. You know not what you do, little crazy boy. All right, got the picture. And there we go. Yeah, that one's super pretty. All right, so Phoenix embossing now. Put you away, you away. Make sure we get you plenty wet because you're a little tighter. So tighter the pattern is, the wetter you want the roller. So this guy gets kind of snug on a small, and that fits. Oh, that's not the right one. How are you in the wrong spot? Hey, none of you are in the right order. I thought I had that better organized than that. So yeah, this is that in tiny, some tight little lines. So yeah, you have to be a little, the smaller the patterning is, the more careful you need to be with what the clay situation is that you're putting it into. I don't want any water on there because clay needs to stick and water makes clay not stick. Alrighty. And we're going next one. Whoop. So I got too close to the edge and it started following it in. So I just rolled back out of it and that worked fine. A bit of clay floating around. Alrighty. So this is Phoenix embossing and this one's gorgeous. And I have a feeling in a double tall, it's going to be absolutely crazy because then this pattern will follow it all the way up and it'll just keep going. Because essentially I'll take this pattern and all of these are repeating all the way around in all directions when I build them. So, obviously you can roll it this way forever, but we can also do it this way as many times as possible. But I haven't figured out how to make the rollers themselves stackable, because you lose spacing, and just resetting it, you can roll and then try to match them up and roll ahead, but it's more difficult, easier said than done. So I figured the double tall was a good option. Photograph. I don't think I photographed that. Alrighty. Because I've got lots of people asking me for pictures of these rolled out on the website and on Etsy. So I'm trying to keep up with you guys. And unfortunately, I didn't start it in the beginning, so now I've got lots of catching up to do. It's kind of the way it is. And down. All right, we already did Phoenix, and now we are on Pompadour, and this is one of my favorites too. I love this one. It's just fun and has lots of just visual interest to it. It's a little more like, I have a thing for the more organic type patterns where it's not as obviously something, but a little bit of everything. I love it. Okay. So there we go. For next. And that one's got a bit of extra water that got into it, which is fine. Just dab it out. Okay. And that's got like a neat beveling to the edges of that, so you actually get to catch that. But again, that won't show up in a stamping detail, but it does show up when you roll it out. All right, let's take the picture. Oh, no, we're sideways. We need to go that way. Okay, and yawn. And last but not least is Pompadour embossing. And so you can see it has that little bit of a bevel in here. So you'll see that beveled effect when we finish this out. Right. And that's top. Try and keep you centered there. And nice hard press through. And so, yeah, see? And this came out really good. Let's shoot that way. But yeah, just fun and super organic little pattern. These are a handful of my original designs, like from way back when I first started building the patterning and stuff. And so they have not as much, got quite a few samples of them, but they're so buried back in my phone and photo rolls that it's been a while. Yeah, so that's that. And I guess for the heck of it, what should be the most fun in Mokume gane? Actually, can do Granny's doily, comes out really good. So I'll just try to lay that down, grab a flexible blade rather than the blade I've been using. And we're just going to ever so lightly shave some of this off. So this is, if you are wanting to learn Mokume gane, I kind of advise starting with just a good metallic clay and learning how to shave it off, because now this can all get mixed back together and nothing is wasted and you're not ruining a color or mixing colors unless you want to. But you can just learn how to get the shave just right without having to worry about colors, color changing. So usually you want to aim to just shave all the height off of it. I wonder, I don't think I can get it any closer while I'm working. The camera itself I can, but not the phone. But so this will continue to hold the pattern even once it's flattened out and cut off, because the mica particles are pushed up and down within translucent clay, essentially. So that's what gives you that color change, even though now it's completely within the clay. And this one's really good for Mokume gane. So we just want to shave off everything that's elevated. And I usually let my tile hit my abdomen so that it doesn't go sliding while I'm trying to shave. And it's best if you have a flexible blade, because you can hold it with just a little bit of a curvature to it. So I put my thumbs into it and kind of, so that if you try to do it like this, you'll have a harder time getting everything. But if you put a little curvature in it, then you can be more in charge of where you're slicing. A little bit easier. And just keep working it off. And if you get too deep, you'll start losing detail. If you don't get deep enough, you'll have ridges and things that are part of your detail, and that's not quite the point of doing, this is what's called mica shift. So it's not a Mokume gane at this point, it's just a mica shift. But it's the easiest way to learn to teach yourself how and where to slice. So again, I'm just trying to make sure that I've got through, or I'm not leaving any height differences. So like here you can see there's still a little height difference. So I want to clean that up, and I want to clean those up. But that's completely level, and you're still getting all that detail. Isn't that so cool? So that's why my rollers got designed the way they were designed, is because I was wanting to do this with them, and nobody was selling rollers that would get you a deep enough and sharp enough impression to be able to get a good transfer through the layers. Okay, so I got impatient there and cut too much. So you can see how I'm losing detail there. Yeah, and you just burnish this out at this point, and it becomes a slab with pattern in it that's completely flat. So these would make would be really good for beads. And then the other thing too with Mokume gane or even mica shift is now you could just take this and you could put it on a different slab and organize it however you want, or leave cracks and crevices, which I do a lot of. Here we go. These are what I was playing with yesterday, actually. So that's just take the slices, and I topped it to keep it, and you see how this is messy. Sometimes I'll put just a thin layer of translucent over the whole thing while it's still elevated, and then I slice through so that these are all on a bigger sheet with translucent behind it, and then I can lay the translucent. That one shows the difference. So the translucent, actually I've got a pile of it sitting over here. That's the other project I've been working on. So this is actually, there's no purple in the Mokume gane. It's all the cream, white, and black, and dark brown. And that is translucent. So you see the white details are still there, and that's the translucent. So the white transfers and the translucent blends. And then I love how it gets that just effect of toning the color, the background color down a little bit. And I kind of, I cut it bigger than I could have cut it smaller and not had that, but I really do kind of like the effect of the color change there. So, yeah. And then these are the backing sheets. So this is multicolor rather than just a metallic effect. There's some metallic in that, but you're not going to see a ton of it. The cream color has a bit of metallic in it, and the brown has some metallic in it. But yeah, so I can just cookie cutter these out, or I can lay these sheets over stuff. And then one other thing I like to do with the scraps is make logs for making beads out of. So like this guy has some of the patterning in it. I think that end, this end has some good flowers. So I can just cut right there, roll that out, put a hole through the middle of it, and that will be a bead. And that would be a good section too. So I can do some big statement beads that have the patterning in it, or I can do some that are just keep the colors in. So like these I'll cut smaller and use them just for color match rather than pattern match. But then these guys up here I'd cut big so that you keep the whole flower effect. So yeah, again, just roll out a log and take those little shaving pieces and lay them all over it. And then I'll also do like that where like, scraps just roll them together, and those make pretty accent beads also. So they'll match whatever set I'm making. Oh, here, yeah, that too. This I was using to make little cube beads. Oh, where did I have more of those? Oh, I thought I had a set already cut up. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so I take a log like that. So this, I just, you know, throw some Mokume gane onto a colored background and stick a knitting needle through it, and then just roll it down to a size that I think is appropriate, and then you can pull it out. Just take a blade to it, not the flexible Mokume gane blade, but a firm blade, and cut them in whatever lengths you want. So those will make good little just accent beads, and I can cut this down smaller if I choose. But at the moment I was like, oh, those are cool little sizes. So I don't know what I'm doing with those yet, but they're floating around for later. And I did make something out of these, but that's gone, the better of those. So that I just took a log that was a jelly roll essentially, and pierced through the middle and started carving out for beads so that it exposed some of the inner color. So that's almost Mokume gane beads, but not pattern, just color changing. But yeah, anyway, that's the things I've been playing with lately. But yeah, I think I will end it here. I just, like I said, wanted to bring you guys along while I was testing these out. It'll take me a little bit. Hi, Kalia. It'll take me a little bit to reseal my clay, because when I now go to roll this in the roller, I have to get it all the mica particles laid back flat again so that the color is consistent. So that will take me a few. But anyway, so I'll probably go ahead and try to video out these. I might come back live just so that they're on there so people can watch the whole, these get rolled out. And I probably should do some of the double tall ones too, although I can't have too many pictures on Etsy. There's a limit, but yeah. Oh no, I guess if I'm selling those in sets, they'll need their own photos. So yeah, I'll probably have to photograph those out too. But yeah, so that's a mica shift. Like I said, it's completely flat. I would go ahead and burnish it with some paper just to fully smooth it out and make sure that any, you know, lines from the blades are, and then you can cut that. It actually, oh, here's something. I'll show you what I like to use that for. I have all kinds of things hanging around. So this is that Mokume gane. And then the background color, I told you there was some metallic in it. So I did just a really, really, really subtle re-roll of one of the daisy patterns in the background there. So, oh, there we go. So you just get a glimpse of a little bit of patterning in this. So it's not just a flat, plain, boring. It's not textured because I didn't want it textured. I just wanted that little hint of accent in it. I like the way that came out. So I'll probably play with this design type more often. Still need to sand it all. The flaw of baking on glass, but then I can sand it really good if it's baked on glass. So it is what it is. All right, guys, I'm going to head out and check out, and I might come back shortly once I get all this stuff re-rolled and run through another couple sets of samples. Have a good one. Oh, I don't know where my end button is. Maybe that. Yes, stop recording. See y'all.